This is Soph,
This is Rich
and we are from
from
across
across
the
the
pond.
pond. Have you got a new watch? I haven't seen a red strap before.
Well, it's part of my collection, yes.
I know, but I still haven't seen a red strap before, and I've seen a lot of watches from your collection.
Yeah, I haven't pulled this one out. This was a last minute
Statement piece. Statement piece.
statement piece.
Okay, I know this is Serious Sunday, but I just want to say something at the beginning of the show. Like we did a show once talking about friends, like how there's different levels of friends, your best friends,
Yeah,
acquaintances,
associate acquaintances.
how everything, is different levels. I found out on Friday that one of my friends that I went to school with passed away. Now, I'm going to tell you, like, people can say, um, yeah, this person passed away, that person, blah, blah. And you just think, oh, that's sad. There are people that totally hits different, totally hit me in my heart, man. We used to walk home from school together. Me, him, and his sister was in my sister's year at school, Marsha. We used to walk home from school together. He lived around the corner by my other nan. And then later on, like obviously you lose touch. Then later on, we caught back up. Like he used to. Last year, he started getting into photography. So he would send me his photos saying, oh, what do you think of this one? Tell me what I should do differently. Can you edit it if I take pictures? We used to talk about music. And if I tell you, he's one of these guys that always had a smile on his face, always had something nice to say. Like, he was one of life's genuinely amazingly nice guys. Joel Joseph, his name is.
A
Oh my
true
God.
gem.
I definitely and this is the thing, people moan about social media, but I literally went to bed on Friday night, and at about 11 I thought, oh, let me just flick through socials, on my phone before I go to sleep. And everyone kept saying, oh my God, this is so sad, I can't believe the news, and I'm like, who is it? Who is it? So I messaged the dude, and I was like, dude, everyone keeps saying they're so sorry. I said, do you know anything about that? And she was like, oh, let me have a look. She came back and she said, oh my God, dude, I think it's Joel. I know you two was really close, and I was like, what? Literally, the wind was taken out of my sails. I messaged his sister straight away, and I was like, oh, I've just heard, is this true? She messaged back and just said, like, even her messages, like, in an hour of me, their family is so tight. I think he's one of like 6 or 7 siblings. She messaged me back saying, unfortunately, he had COVID. Thanks so much for being an amazing friend to him. And I was like, oh my God, I said, I'm totally gutted. If there's anything I can do, please let me know. And do you know what she replied?
What?
Please just carry on being an amazing human being. And I was like, oh my God, like in that hour of sadness, she still sent something like that. But yeah, that totally hit my heart. So I have to say condolences, love and thoughts to the Joseph family, man, because that's hit hard proper.
Well, our condolences from across the pond. ATP fam.
How was your weekend anyway?
Very uneventful.
Do you know what? You are starting to sound like I used to sound when we were in lockdown. What have you done? Nothing. In soon, my dad's going to be saying to me,
you know what? Some days you need to do nothing.
But soon my dad is going to be saying to me, can you ask Richard to do something? Because every time you say, what have you done? He says it's been uneventful.
Well, I hung out with my father and my older brother, which was an enjoyable time. But that was about it.
What did I do the weekend? I went to the park with Al. Where else did we go? Don't you hate it when it's literally right there? Like, I can't remember what I did today, but if you asked me what I'd done 10 years ago, I could tell you,
Oh, I also went to the movies for the very first time.
Ooh, what did you watch?
The Protege.
Never heard of it. Did you have to wear a mask? Oh, yeah, you
Nope.
got to. Oh.
I mean, they say if you're not vaccinated, you're supposed to wear one, but I'm vaccinated. But I'm gonna tell you right now, though, the first time going back to the movies in about a year, it was empty. The
No,
movie theater was empty.
this is the time to go. I'm telling you.
Yeah, it was totally like a ghost town.
People have been scaremongered to staying at home. That's what we did today. We went to the lock on the river. You know, I don't know if you have them there, but you know, when the boats are on the river, if they want to cross like from one side to the other, they have to park the boat in this thing called a lock, get out, the water rises on one side, goes down on the other, and then they can open the gate and go back out. Do you have that there?
No.
Oh, you're missing out. So anyway, we went there, even when we were on lockdown, but you were allowed out for exercise. Al loves to see the boats, so we'd go there. I remember when we went there, it was on lockdown. He was looking at me like, where are the boats? You know, like it was dead. There was nothing there whatsoever. And then, yeah, we went at the weekend and there was boats galore. He was in his element. So that's what we did today.
Hit a time of his life.
He had the best fun. He's easily pleased.
That's a good thing.
Well, it depends what day of the week it is.
He
I
could be
think we should address that also. We were meant to have a guest today, but she is an essential worker. So obviously we've got to work around the schedule and other things come up. So that's on hold. We are going to get the guest at some point. Today it's just V and me.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so Serious Sunday.
It is Serious Sunday, and we are talking about none other than addiction.
Mm-hmm.
And I have the definition ready to go.
Go forth. Give it to
Addiction is a fact or condition of being addicted to a particular substance, thing, or activity.
Okay, so my first question to you is, what's the difference between addiction and obsession? When people say, oh, I'm obsessed. Do you think they're the same thing?
I don't think they're the same thing.
Do you think one is a want?
Because obsession is something that you fantasize about. Addiction is something that's real, that like.
Okay, so is it an addiction a want or a need?
It's both. It's a want or a need, I think.
Have you ever had an addiction?
It says substance, thing, or activity. See, a lot of people think that addiction is like drug and alcohol, and that's it.
This is the thing. If you ever ask anybody, they would say drink, drugs, and alcohol. You're right. But it's not, you know. Would you say like, oh my God, my brain is going like 100 miles an hour? You know me, as the conversation starts. You know, like people like stalkers, would you say they've got an addiction or they're obsessed?
I would say a little bit of both.
Have you ever had?
You got to have the obsession of that person or thing or whatever you're obsessed with, but then it becomes an addiction when you act on it, and then, you know what I mean?
I hear you. I didn't think about it like that. Have you ever had an addiction?
Oh, I'm addicted to a lot of stuff right now as we speak. I'm addicted to movies. I'm addicted to television, which is a bad.
Okay, but could you live without those things? Let's just say you woke up tomorrow morning and someone said to you, that's it, cold turkey, no more TV, no more movies.
I'd probably go through withdrawal. I'm not even going to front. I'd probably go.
I
could do it.
This is supposed to be Serious Sunday. You know that, right? You're here saying now you're going to be sitting in the corner like this if you don't watch a movie.
I literally would probably, I mean, don't get it twisted. I could do it, but I would probably go through withdrawal because I do watch an amount of movies a day.
Mm-hmm. So, you know, like if somebody collects something, you know, like you have stamp collectors or I don't know, book collectors, or for me, my mum would say I'm a shoe collector. Would you say that's an addiction or an obsession?
I would say that's an obsession
My
because
mum, my
you can
mum would,
stop at any point.
my mum would
Can't
say it's an addiction, and I can't stop it at any point. Shoes, yes, sir, I'm there. Bit like
Yeah.
you with your movies.
Yeah, I have a nice collection.
I have a nice collection of shoes.
Mm.
Have you ever known somebody who's had an addiction, like drink or drugs?
Yes. I've known some adults who've had, drug addiction. I've had some friends who have been considered alcoholics, drug addicts, that who, amazingly have come clean
Mm-hmm.
and have been sober or clean. And what I mean by clean, meaning they don't have it in their system at all.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I know a lot of people. But see, I come from the inner city, so you kind of grow up around all that.
And also, I don't know if this is the case. Oh man. But do you think, like, obviously you was in the military. Do you think something like that would push somebody to have an addiction?
Uh, stress can cause a whole lot of different things. In the military, I'm gonna tell you what they produce. I think a lot of it in the military, they produce a lot of depression and alcoholism. I think, and that's
Because
just
when people
my
have
opinion.
when people have an addiction, they normally, not being rude, they normally blame something, like they took up drinking or they took up drugs to get away from whatever issue they couldn't deal with. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but that could possibly be true. I know one thing: depression in the military is big because first you're away from home, and then you're away from everyday life as you know it. And then when the holidays hit, that's when it's the hardest for some people, like Christmas and Thanksgiving, when you should be around your friends and family, but you're out in the sandbox or in a jungle or, in the mountains.
Do you know what the biggest addiction is in the world?
And what is that? Coffee?
Food.
Food is the biggest addiction? Well, you can't live without food. So I don't know how that could.
Okay, maybe I worded that wrong, but like junk food, should we say then?
Junk food?
Food, yeah.
I'm gonna look that up. What's the biggest addiction? Are you sure about that?
How many times do you go to McDonald's or Burger King or Chick-fil-A
Ooh.
or whatever they're called?
If I got the money, I'm there.
This proves my point. Everyone, the thing is though, people don't think about food. Like we said, when you say about addiction, people just go to drink, drugs, and alcohol. And well, caffeine's a drug, right? Coffee. Oh, you can't do two things at once. He's searching.
Wait, I'm looking.
Oh, sorry, it's serious.
I'm looking. It says these are the 5 most addictive substance on earth. Hold on, it's taking me there.
But this is what I mean. Even things like Diet Coke are addictive because they put substances inside them to make you want. Go on.
Number 1, heroin is the most addictive thing.
Okay, wait a sec.
Number 2, cocaine.
Ooh. Okay, so what's number 3?
Number 3 is barbiturates.
Who?
That's what it says, barbiturates? I don't even know what that is.
Maybe it's something they put in food. Okay, what's 4?
Number 4 is nicotine. And number 5 is alcohol.
Wow.
I don't see food in here at all.
But what is that number 3? It could be a sedative, additive, or whatever they put in food.
I'm gonna have to find out what barbiturates. Sometimes use barbiturates to neutralize the effect of another substance.
Do you know what the most addictive food in the world is?
Donuts.
Pizza.
Oh yeah?
Do you know what the second one is?
What is it?
Chocolate.
We hit people off with stats today, boy. We hit
I know, man. I mean, forget the episode where we had zero preparation with jokes. We are bringing the A game.
Yes. Yes. Have you ever been addicted to anything?
Well, my mom would say shoes, but other than that, there was a period of time. It's going to sound, I don't know, chuck myself under the bus. There was a period of time where I felt like I couldn't get through the day unless I drank Diet Coke, you know, like maybe 2 or 3 tins, not in one go, obviously, but I loved a Diet Coke with my dinner every day. And then I saw a video or read something somewhere that it's worse for you than full fat Coke. And I literally decided, I'm not going to drink it anymore. And as much as my brain said for a couple of days, you want a Diet Coke, I didn't go and get one. And after a week, the thing came back again saying, oh, do you want a Diet Coke? And I thought, oh, do you know what? I've had a bad day, sod it. And I cracked open the tin, took a sip, and it tasted disgusting. So literally, it took me a week to wean myself cold turkey off of diet soda. Oh, yeah. And let's not get it twisted. I still have one every now and then now, but not like I used to. I mean, you could have cut me open and Diet Coke would have come out rather than blood, I think.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to be honest with you. Have I been addicted to some things? I have been addicted to alcohol. I really used to really enjoy drinking
a boot of lager.
Huh?
A boot of lager.
Yeah, that boots of lager. I can taste it right now. But I have slowed down. So I don't really consider myself an alcoholic or addicted to
Have you ever smoked?
I've smoked cigars, yes. But nothing hard. Like crack or anything like that.
Oh no, I just mean like cigarette, as we would say, fags. You know, like
you know what? I've smoked a cigarette once in my whole entire life, and it's never been a thing for me. I've never really got into smoking cigarettes.
You know, like I never understand how people chain smoke. Do you know what I mean? They smoke one, put it out, and then they light another one straight away. They like smoke pack of 20 a day. I'm like, whoa.
And to be honest with you, I'm glad I don't have that habit or addiction because cigarettes are expensive.
I know, it's like £10 here for a packet.
I don't know how much it is, but I know it's up there.
That would be like $15.
I don't know if I could afford a pack of cigarettes.
I've never smoked in my life. And I'm happy to say, my parents will be pleased to know, I've never taken any drugs. You know, I haven't even sucked a weed, a spliff, whatever you want to call it. I haven't even done that. I've never had any class A, B, C, D, E, F, G drugs. No.
So you've never like experimented at all?
Mm-mm. I just think you should be able to have a good time without that. If you have to have that to have a good time, then there's a problem.
I believe you.
You should cut me open. You won't see any substances never enter this body.
Cut you open. Excuse me.
And do you know why? It's because I think they should teach more horror stories at school, really, because I remember we went to school and this boy, probably 2 or 3 years older than us, his name was Rocky. That was his real name, by the way, right? And so obviously we left school, didn't see him. And I remember me and Michaela went to town once to go out one night, probably, probably when we were a bit young. But we went to go out one night, right? Anyway, after we left school. When we were walking to town, we were walking to town, he was walking back the other way. And so we were like, oh, hi, you know, afterwards, we were like, what the hell's happened to him? He had boils all over his face. And I don't mean spots, I mean, like, there were lumps all over his face, caused obviously by the drugs, you know. And we were like, wow, that's harsh, man. Harsh.
Yes, it's very harsh. Now I've seen people who have done drugs and really look bad and then really turn themselves around too.
You got to love a success story.
Yeah.
I never understand how you must be seriously addicted if you're going to go into a public toilet, put it on the toilet seat, and then sniff it up your nose, you know.
Ugh. Who does that?
Ain't you seen it in the films and stuff? That's what people do when
Oh
they
yeah,
go to
yeah.
nightclubs.
You see it in the movies.
They go to the toilet. Just the thought of that gives me the heebie-jeebies, you know. Like, not from a toilet, I mean from anywhere.
Yeah, I'd probably throw up.
I can't. Just thinking about it, I think, oh.
I don't
You know,
know
like
if I
when
can
you
put
watch
anything in his beak.
when you watch things like Pulp Fiction and they're like foaming at the mouth and stuff when they take an overdose and stuff. Nah, that's not for me. No way.
Now, when I was in school, well, when I was younger, it was, you know, just say no to drugs, that whole thing. And then you had like the little green stickers for poison and stuff like that. And then as you got older, they start using scare tactics. Like they showed a video of this really pretty girl and she took ecstasy and it just deformed her whole face.
Yeah, it's not nice.
Like, and these chemicals that they put it depends on the person because not everybody has the same effect. Or
bit like the vaccine, not everyone's going to have the same effect because different chemicals in different bodies, different DNA.
well, I feel perfectly fine, and I've been vaccinated. Perfectly fine.
What was I going to say? Do you think, I don't know if they have them there, but here, if you buy a packet of cigarettes, now they've got pictures on the outside, you know, like of somebody who's been badly affected by smoking, like they've got a black lung, or they show you a heart that's been deformed, or they show you something.
I do not know because I don't buy cigarettes. So
neither do I, but it was a big thing over here.
Do some research. I don't know. Now I know they have the little Surgeon General thing that tells you that they have that on the package.
Personally, I don't think it's going to make any difference. If you smoke, you don't really care about a picture on a box. And also what they've done here in shops now is they put all of the cigarettes, like they used to be out. Like if you went in, if I was a shopkeeper, I could just go like that and get it you off the shelf. You could see it. Now they've changed it all. They're covered up, like they have screens that pull down so you can't see them. Because they're saying that basically if you can't see them, maybe it won't be like, oh yeah, well, I'll just grab a pack of them cigarettes. What a load of rubbish. If people are going to smoke, they're going to smoke, whether they see it or whether you've got a picture of a heart that's black on the packet or not, you know.
Yeah. Now, do you believe in this right here? I believe in some addictions are mental. Addiction is a mental thing. So say if no one told you, would you be addicted? Like no one told you that you were addicted to alcohol. Would you consider?
I think so because it's your mindset telling you that you need it. Regardless of whether I tell you it's an addiction, your mind is telling you you need this, you want it, you've got to have it, otherwise you can't survive. You know, that's what I mean by a mindset. You have to train your brain, basically. You have to retrain your brain.
Because I've heard stories where people say that like they didn't know they were addicted until someone told them.
Because they're in denial. That's what that is, my love. Denial. They know full well. It's like until somebody points it out. If you don't talk about it, it ain't happening. That's what that is. Know what I mean? Out of sight, out of mind.
I never looked at it like
that.
But
one more thing. Sorry, I've got to get this out there. What do you think about people like Tiger Woods then, who's claimed when he got caught having an affair, it was because he has a sex addiction?
Sex addiction. I don't know if you can have a sex. I don't know if that's a true thing.
Neither, I don't believe it either, because you know what? If you've got a sex addiction, have sex with your wife. Just because you've got a sex addiction, don't mean to say you've got to sow your seed all around here, there, and everywhere.
Well, you know what? I want to see what's the definition of sex addiction, to be honest.
Read my blog, you'll see it.
Because I would like to know. Because I don't believe there is a such thing as the sex addiction.
Read my blog, you'll see it. Tiger Woods is chucked under that bus and reversed back over. A couple of celebrity people have claimed that when they've been caught with their pants around their ankles.
Well, I think that's just an scapegoat.
Exactly, right? An excuse.
Signs of sexaholics. Wait a minute. Hold on. Let me get it.
Google is your best friend today, man.
Yeah, my phone has been my thing today.
It's been your savior. Should play some hold music while we
Sexaholic. Definition of sexaholic.
go on.
A person who is addicted to sex. But that's all it says.
Because it's a load of tosh. That's why.
Oh, okay. Here we go. Wikipedia.
Ooh, ooh.
Also known as sex addiction, is a large state characterized by compulsive participation or engagement in sexual activity, particularly sexual intercourse, despite negative consequences.
That's the get out then if you have an affair. That's that line at the end, despite the consequences.
Yeah, that's the get out of jail free card.
It ain't free here.
Disagree.
Snip, motherfudger. That's what I say if you get caught.
Snip, snip, huh?
Yep.
But yeah, I never really believed in sexaholic. You either like it or you don't. And if you like it with multiple people,
Don't get married. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, you're just very sexually active. I wouldn't really call it an addiction. But then when celebrities get caught because you know why? They got so much money, people just be on them.
Yeah, and they get caught up in the moment and they're dumb, Oh, it's all well and good. I bet the amount of women that said to him, oh my God, I promise I'm never going to tell anyone, And then as soon as she gets home, says to her best mate, oh my God, if I tell you, don't tell anyone. Never guess who I spent the night with, blah, 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 all comes out. And then when one comes out and all them other 50 chicks are like, oh my God, he told me it was just me.
Now they got them disclosure agreements now. Celebrities got those disclosures agreements now where if you do mess with them, you got to sign a little disclosure saying that you won't sell, or they'll sue the brakes off you.
Another get out of jail free card.
What other addictions are there other than alcohol and nicotine? I think hoarding is an addiction. I watch Hoarders, and I think that is a serious addiction. I think that's the most saddest addiction you can think of.
Is that an addiction though, or is it an obsession?
I don't know, but hoarding is terrible. I've watched it on TV. It's terrible.
I've watched one before where this man was so obsessed, addicted to whatever you want to say, with not throwing anything out, that after he passed away and they went to, there was a big clear out of the house, they found carrier bags of his poo taped to the doors because he didn't want to chuck anything out.
See, that's extreme. That's an extreme. You know what?
He's going back to Google.
Wow, my stuff is popping up.
Well, what are you searching for now? You've kept us waiting quite a while already on the show.
13 signs that you might have an addictive personality.
Do what he what?
It says 13 signs that you might have an addictive personality.
13. I don't think you need 13.
See if you have any signs. You want to see if you have any addictive personality signs?
Go on then. Whenever you're ready.
Guess what? Obsessing is one of them.
Obsessing.
Yep. It says a person with an addictive personality tends to obsess, just like an alcoholic will obsess over when the next drink is available, or the gambling addiction obsessing over when work will be over so they can head over to the casino.
See, now talking about that, I need to check if my horses won today.
Number 2, always wanting more.
That's just greed, surely.
For a person who exhibits signs of addiction, enough is never enough. Lying is an addiction, and lying go hand in hand.
Okay, let's do the top 5. So what's 4?
4, manipulation. And number 5, number 1, that should have been number 1, criminal behavior.
Oh no, criminal behavior don't mean you could just do a criminal job once. But yeah,
if you got to lie, steal, or cheat for your.
That definitely ain't me then, because I don't lie. So that rules me out.
You don't obsess about anything? Or always wanting more? Like, do you always want more shoes?
I'd like more shoes.
But do you always want them? Like, you always think about them?
No, because my mum used to teach me those that want don't get.
Those who want don't get.
Yep.
Wow.
If anyone's thought of any addictions that we haven't mentioned, feel free to comment. Tell us if you've got any addictions.
Yeah. I'm addicted to
watches, spending money.
I'm an impulsive buyer. I'm not a big money spender, but I do a lot of impulse buys, which I've actually gotten better with. Are you laughing at me? I am an impulsive buyer. That's one thing I can admit.
Yeah, but it was the I've got better bit.
What?
Maybe I'll edit that out, that I've got better bit.
I've got better?
Yeah.
I think I have. No, you don't think so? My watch collection is getting a little out of hand.
You're a bit like, Dory in Finding Nemo, when she's talking and then she's, oh, look, blah, blah, blah. Like her attention's gone because she's seen something that she likes or she wants,
Well, I'm gonna be honest. If I see something on TV that's really good or just came out, I do want to try it. Like if there's a new burger that's out, I want to try.
See, food addiction.
Yeah, I do love food. I do love food. I do love movies. I'm a big TV watcher. And watches, yes. I do have a
buying of unnecessary things that you don't need.
True. How about you, Miss? I have nothing but shoes everywhere.
That's where mine stops. That's my vice in life.
Shoes. That's the only thing.
Yeah.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah, look at this face of innocence. That's enough, ain't it? Have you seen how much they cost?
Yeah.
And in all fairness,
how about getting your nails done?
that's just to look That's not an addiction. I just like to look nice.
So could you go weeks without getting your nails done?
Yeah. No, because I just do it myself, So
Uh-huh.
I just, there's certain things like, oh God, here I go under that bus. I feel like women look better with long nails. I don't like men with long nails. That's a no-go zone. Women look better with long nails, and it just shows that you take care of yourself and have pride in your appearance. Do you know what I mean? Like if I went to a shop and the server had all like chipped off nail polish and stuff, it would put me off.
You talk about the person who's doing your nails, if their nails aren't looking good.
No, I'm talking about if I go to a shop and the person behind the counter serves me and gives me my change and my money, vice versa, on my shopping. If I see that, then I just think to myself, you need to take more care of yourself, love.
So you judge people off their nails?
I don't judge. I'm just saying you should take care of yourself. If for me, it doesn't happen now because I use gel nail polish so it doesn't chip. But if I use normal everyday nail polish, after about 3 days, you get little chips where obviously you've knocked the nail. As soon as I see a little chip, that's it. The whole lot's got to come off. All or nothing.
So you don't consider that addictive?
No, it's taking pride in your appearance.
So you're telling me that if you have one little nick on your finger nail, you're taking the whole thing off and doing it all over?
Yeah, and if I like, because they're not really long, but they're quite long. If I break one, that all of them have got to come off. I don't like to have the odd length. Like when you see people and they've got one long nail and two short, then a long one and a medium one. Nah, all. That's to me. That's an OCD, which is obsessive compulsive disorder. So it's not an addiction.
You don't consider it an addiction at all? Okay. We're going to leave it at that. We're going to leave.
Would you say you're obsessed with going to the barber every 2 weeks to get your hair done? Is that an obsession? Addiction? Same thing.
No, that's called an appointment.
Exactly. Mine's an appointment. Mine's on my fingers. Yours is on your bonnet. That's the only difference.
But the thing about it, though, if I can't get it done in 2 weeks, it doesn't bother me.
It does bother you because what do you say? Oh, I need to put a do-rag on so I can't have people looking at my hair. Where are my waves? I've got no waves. Oh, my hair. Even the other week, what did you say? My barber's messed up my beard. Same thing.
He did. He messed it up. But
chipping the nails, chipping the bin. There you go. Same thing. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. This is an appointment.
It's an appointment. Okay. All right. So other than your shoe addiction, you have no other addiction, no other vices. Diet Coke? No.
Nah. I mean, this is the thing. I like drinking coffee and I have coffee most days. But to me, it doesn't do anything. Like people say, oh, I drink it because it gives me a wake up, perks me up, blah, blah. Don't do nothing. I could have a coffee at 11 o'clock at night and still go to sleep. It doesn't seem to have that effect on me. So I enjoy coffee. I like the taste. But if I woke up tomorrow and somebody said, you can never drink coffee again, I wouldn't cry. I only drink it because there's not many drinks that I like, really. So I want something other than water or juice. So, okay, let's drink coffee. I could live without it.
I'm a coffee drinker, and I prefer most mornings to have a cup of coffee. Sometimes I have 2 cups. Like I've had 2 cups of coffee already this morning.
But I feel that's more like a routine you get into. You get up, you have a coffee, then you get on about your day. It's not an addiction, I don't think, for me anyway, personally.
Yeah, but to be honest, I think on the weekends, I'm trying to think on the weekend, do I drink coffee on the weekend?
But this is the thing, I could take it or leave it. I've been some days where I've had 0 cups of coffee, and I've been other days where I've had 5 cups, I
love me some coffee, though.
Oh, yeah, don't get it twisted. I love it. But yeah, I think this was a good subject, actually. For considering it was a last minute
change it. Last minute change up.
Yep, last minute switch up. It was a good one.
Yeah, I do. Now, do you believe in rehabs? Rehab centers for addictions, such as like alcohol addiction or drug addiction. You think you can go somewhere and they can help you get right, or do you think it's a personal thing?
I think they can put you on the right path. You have to work in order to stay there. For example, there's a footballer called Gaza, Paul Gascoigne, and he was an alcoholic, right? And then he went to rehab after he left, retired or whatever it was. He turned to be an alcoholic. Then he went to rehab, got clean. I even saw him at the beach one day, had a picture taken with him. He was all fine. The following week, he was in the news because somebody had found him upside down in a hedge drunk, so then he was back in rehab again. Do you know what I mean? This is what I'm saying, is a mindset. You can go to rehab and they can pick you up, give you all of the necessary tools to put you on the path that you need to go on. If you don't want to be on that path, you will fall off. You have to want to do it. You can't, it's a bit like sitting there and waiting for something to fall in your lap. It don't happen. You've got to get up and work for it. You can't just expect to go there and for somebody else to do the work for you. You've got to want it yourself. Otherwise, it isn't going to work. So I think it can work. But like I said, it's down to the person, not the place.
You think it's a personal, individual choice.
Mindset, yeah.
Go to rehab.
Yeah.
And go to rehab. It's a mindset.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to want
like not being mean. I remember when you came out of the hospital and I said to you, were there people in there that, you said you met people in there that you thought were going to be in there forever because,
yeah,
I
was going to end up being in there forever, to be honest.
Well, yeah, even you said you were stubborn at the beginning and didn't want to talk and was like, nah, Yeah. So if you're pushing against the barrier, you're never going to overcome the hurdle, are you?
Yeah. It becomes, I think, I have to agree with you. I think it's a personal choice in that you want to, like you said, it's a mindset, and that you want the help and the necessary, you have to do the necessary process. And
you have to be strong enough not to let outside influences affect your mindset. Like, for example, say there was an alcoholic, they went into rehab, they got clean, come out and was like, yes. Then a week later, they meet up with their mates and they're like, oh, come on, just come to the pub, have an orange juice. And then when you get there, like, oh, I bought you a pint. It's only one, don't worry. That's when the slippery slope starts and you're back down again because you've let somebody else, your brain mindset isn't strong enough.
That's called peer pressure.
Exactly. Well, whatever you want to call it. Whatever you want to call it. That's what I think anyway. Just my opinion, folks.
Yeah, so I think I'm agree with you. I think it's a mindset. Because some people think that rehabs are just.
Some people think it's a quick fix. I'll just go in there and then I'll be better.
Yeah. Or some people are repeat offenders. They enjoy going to rehab.
Wow. That's obviously an addiction.
That could be.
Who knows?
Well, that being said, people, our topic was addiction today. If you have any addictions or think of any addictions that we didn't discuss.
I'm addicted to the show. ATP for life.
ATP for life. Get down or lay down. Ooh. Also, people, we have our website up and running. So if you want any merch,
www.acrossthepondwithrichandsoph.com.
Yeah. And don't forget to click, like, and subscribe to our show YouTube channel.
He is on it today. Mm.
Yes. Don't forget we are also on our podcast. So in case you don't want to see our pretty faces.
Around everywhere.
Yeah. In case you don't want to see our pretty faces, but hear our lovely voices.
I can't believe that. But anyway.
Spotify. That being said, this is Soph.
This is Rich.
And we are
from across the pond.
me if you're ready to go. Across the pond with rich and so. Alright. Me if you're ready to go. Across the pond with rich and so. Alright. Now holler at me if you're ready to go. Across the pond with rich and so. Alright. Now holler at me if you're ready to go. Across the pond with rich and so. Alright.
All right.
All right, people.
See you Wednesday, Rich. See them Friday.
Yes, yes. Yupper.
Yepper.